So Colin, since we last spoke, we've done those east-west soil line grids. We've got the assays in now. We've had a chance to look at the geology in Trench 31. We've mapped that, and we've got some pretty special assays in some of those sections. And now we've got the next stage of a program to try to understand that geology and orientation. So can you sort of tell us a bit more?
Yeah, the Trench 31 assays in the bottom were a good educational lesson for me, because it showed enormous variation in the assay component. Some beautifully high grades that you don't often see, and particularly in the still fine disseminated gold going up to very high grades. Normally if you get high grades it's coarse and it's unrepeatable and gives you problems. So it's still completely assayable, it's drill testable, but its geometries, you know, it 2.5 ounces to the ton. You can't expect the geometry to be endless and simple. You need Fort Knox in it. So you're going to put up with the fact that the really high grade bits are going to have a scrappy geometry, and we want to get a representative portion of those in the drill holes. So we need to get the drill holes going across at the right angle. It showed us if you're patient, you can do a geological selection. It's not obvious. If you were doing your first hole and didn't expect anything, you could be forgiven for making a big mess of it, to be quite honest. But now that we've got the assays in and you can see great results, you can actually tell that you could put in a fair bit of eyeball judgment as to whether the drill holes hit it or not.
So that, I mean, that's helped. Exactly. I mean, that's helped a lot with all the 5 metre spaced auger traverse holes that we've been putting in. And from what I can see, they've been going in pretty quickly too. They're
going very quickly. You've got to really put in your day's work.
That's right.
They do go quickly. It's a great way to go across. You can hardly see where we've been. So the native vegetation people would be pleased with what we're doing. It gives us the option to do these things and then say, okay, the RC drill's going that way, we're going to make an access that way. Our auger access is so benign. East-west lines in the soil geochem backed up the validity of the north-south ones. They've given infinitely better resolution in the northern part of Sorpresa. In this part, it swings around, so you're really around the 45-degree mark, and north-south is as good as east-west. We've done the best we can. We haven't got all the results in, and it's still, as we go south of Trench 31, it's just opening out. So it's quite exciting. The anomaly's getting broader as you go south-west, and then it goes under alluvium. And we put the auger holes out, follow along from that, and they look good for whatever look means. So that's all encouraging, because it all gets filtered with assay results.
That's right.
So not everything looks good, and some things that look terrible, assay will.
So look, we'll wait for the definitive test, but those east-west soil lines really backed up what we had in the north-south soil lines and gave it sort of a richer context, as you said, generally.
The more detail we get in it, the more we're starting to pick up the shape.
So we've probably got about 3, 4, 5 areas that are elevated in the soil profile of a similar basis to Trench 31 that we want to pursue.
Some of them look quite a lot better. I don't think really soils do all the work for you.
No.
You've got to, sometimes you get the ore bodies under the mild ones and the reverse. You know, everyone gets excited by a good result.
Well, it's a starting recipe that's worked so far. I mean, we had our soil results at 2 ends of this anomaly, the original 2 ends, the Trench 31 and the RC auger line.
And it's not as if they're jointed either.
No, exactly.
They're part of the same process, and they have a similar characteristic. The expanded geometry so that we can plan RC holes and things, trying to get the strike, not just of the little bit in the trench, but say on a 50 to 150 metre scale, we're trying to actually see where it goes so that we can get lined up with a drill on it. There's so many possibilities at the moment that we haven't resolved that if we went off half-cocked we could regret it. And we have all the techniques and the gear to sort it out this way. It's going through so quickly.
Yeah. We've put a lot of holes through in the last few days.
In the last few days,
yeah.
They're just rocketing in. Anyway, that was a surprisingly good hole. It was real trench 31 like, or whatever that means. Same again with that one. That one was okay. That was okay, and that one was simply brilliant.
This one here was very good?
Those two were okay. This one was as good as it gets.
Right. So quite characteristic of what we saw in the geology?
Broken black surface or black silica. It could be going straight through there. So that one was extra good and quite encouraging. It's still got a assay, but it certainly looked right. Looks better than the auger holes we put across 31. Got to this one and we'd clearly gone down a controlling fault. We just couldn't touch rock. It was just clay for 4 metres or something like that.
Okay.
Given that everything else was quite shallow, and it was a different rock type underneath, I thought, oh well, that's the ceiling on it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That was a good run. This one didn't look too bad, and then when I thought I'd had it fenced in, this one came in looking extra good. Even that one was okay. And the last hole in that line was good, giving the inference of that belt coming across there. So we're now up there and we've got results there. We've just got the whole zone up there, so we could be coming across that way. Now, that's a direction. We have several directions, and I have to be careful there's not another direction in there or that one folds around. So currently drilling that one. Jeff's drilling that one, done that one, done the one out there, done that one, so this auger line way out to there. This one's going to be out to there. That one's going to be through there. And we'll probably do another one in there.
Right. So we're getting a very good feel in and around Trench 31 in terms of the orientation.
We're getting stuff which is clearly participated in the mineralising process and stuff which clearly isn't.
Right.
And the geometry of what isn't and what is, if you put it that way, is ever so important.
Yes, yeah. So this is going to help with the RC hole locations. We may do a bit of trenching depending on what the auger results bring in.
Indeed. To trench across this way, you'd have to go, what, 40, 50 metres.
Yeah, it's a big trench.
A couple of weeks' worth of trench.
Yeah.
To unscramble it all. So you certainly would want to see your assays first.
Yes.
Because there's too much work
to
go off half-cocked.
Yep.
But although it's complicated as it always is, it is showing every sign that it will resolve.
Yeah. That's good. It's very promising.
Yeah. It's an exercise you just seem to have to hang in there on. It's a tape just off to the right hand side of the mugger ironbark with a prominent side brown.
Yes, I can see that.
That's where the geochemistry comes through. The next red tape in front of that is where we've hit it in the auger drill travet. Right, okay. So we project from those two tapes forward and you come out to where we've got the black silica.
Well, it's behaving very nicely.
It looks
structurally.
It does.
Well,
we've got the same rock assemblies, but the black silica just seems to be following the fault line. So yeah, we've still got lots of black silica, and then we've been getting the soft fracture zones going through metrology to be absolutely sure of that. But the black silica is following the fault line, which means it's connected to the mineralisation. So we're 200 metres from the last Auger Travis, where we did okay, and we are looking at about 50-60 metres with black silica and fault line material. We've extended to the southwest. We're out underneath the alluvium. So far we haven't seen the system fade out yet, so here's hoping with the assays.
Yeah, the assays will be the definitive test, I guess, but at least in terms of similarity in geology it looks okay.
It's going straight ahead. If we projected the previous auger holes in the geochemistry and we just came out here on the alluvium, and it's come up again exactly in the right spot. And if it kept going this direction, it ends up there's they're not really gold mines, it's prospectors trying to find gold lodes in the belt of trees over there. They've been tormented a bit by it, really. The soil has a bit of gold in it, and they try to follow that into a meaningful lode position, and it doesn't work for them. They end up with a disseminated rock host, and they can't make any sense of it, and frequently the gold's too fine for them to see when they crush it. So they end up with pits all over the place, just trying to resolve something to what they have preconceived in their mind. But the disseminated gold is not their calling. They can't do a thing with it, really.
Yes.
It's fine for us.
Yeah, as we've discussed before, they really had a sort of quartz load-based model.
Yeah, so I think they're quite happy to go with Gosden-based, from sulphides and things, Cobar style. But they did need to see some discrete body in the rock that the gold was coming from. When you just get the rock and it's got disseminated gold lost in the rock, that really did confuse them. Yes. And if it's 2 or 3 or 4 grams disseminated in the rock, for a start, they wouldn't know because the gold's too fine. But if they did know, they couldn't do anything with it. That's right. Their equipment could never handle that low grade. Great grade for us. 2 or 3 times what you would really need. So they did their level best to find something that the geology was really waiting for the current era.